Hi, this is Oralena here, and I'm here with Daniel Santiago, and we are talking about youth issues. And now Daniel and I are going to be discussing, he's going to be sharing with us how direction and discipline needs to be instilled into the lives of the youth to help them attain their goals and to get where they need to go. So start us out, Daniel, with this.
You know, this is probably one of my most passionate subjects. You know,
mine too.
Direction, having direction, and being disciplined enough to go and do what it takes to get to your goal. And whether that's personal, professional, spiritual, relational, emotional, financial, recreational, you know, all of these different elements of life. It's important that the parents of the youth that are out there, and then all the individuals that have interaction with this generation. There's a lot of us out there.
A lot.
It's important for us to understand that if I don't understand where a student wants to go, then I cannot help them to the best of my ability. So as a parent, it's important to have that conversation and stop trying to live vicariously through that youth, or stop trying to be so over-domineering or dominant towards that youth and get them to do something that they really don't want to do, and ask them, what is it that you want to do? The question that I typically ask the students on stage and even one-on-one is, what would you be doing if you had all the resources, all the opportunity, and all the support in your life? What is it that you would be doing? They typically don't have an answer. And I pose it again. I say, what would bring a smile to your face every single day? What would make you feel good inside, like you were having a significant role? What would that be? And the responses I get are far beyond anything that has ever been put on them as an expectation. Because you're giving them an opportunity to express themselves. And that's where true, when we call direction, comes out in the lives of youth. So helping, because everybody wants to find out, you know, what do I want to do with my life? I have to do one thing, and I have to do that for 40 years, and once I do that, maybe I'll retire. But this generation has so much to them as far as content, ideas. They live in a completely different age. We live in the information age. Their parents lived in the industrial age. And so right now we have multiple demographics operating in the one world. You have a younger generation who is very technical savvy. They love technology, they use it, it's the rhythm, it's a heartbeat of their life, but they're being suppressed by their parents, their employers, their educators to say, no, 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 you can't use that, you have to do it this way. And so that is one major component to direction. And so if we can ask a student, hey, where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? Emphasis Y-O-U. Where do you want to go? And if that student can articulate that, then we can help.
Wow. Because then you can set that path up for them and get them the right mentors or the right teachers or the right information that they need to, so they can attain the goal that's deep within their heart.
Absolutely. My wife used to tell me, she said, I can't help you if I don't know what you need.
Wow. Isn't that true for anybody? If we don't know.
If we don't know, how can I expect others to help me? And so life is not meant to be lived alone. And as we develop and pursue our dreams, our desires, our goals, we need to have what we're going to talk about next, the discipline to be able to articulate that, communicate that, to be able to not veer or stray from where we actually want to go. Because if we compromise that, then our behaviors change, our actions change, and ultimately our results change.
Wow. Isn't that the truth? So how can somebody become disciplined? Because you're not talking about spanking them. You're talking about being disciplined.
Yes.
Exactly.
Exactly. You know what? That's probably one of the hardest questions to answer because it's really relevant towards that individual. See, I have strengths that may be your weaknesses. You have strengths that are maybe my weaknesses. And so that approach has to be looked at holistically.
Wow, that is good.
See, Scripture says, be holy because I'm holy. And I look at that, I communicate that not as H-O-L-Y, but as W-H-O-L-L-Y, meaning look at the whole person and saying, what am I missing in my financial area? Do I understand how to maintain my finances? Can I have a budget? Can I stay on track there? Look at my emotions. You know, what's going on emotionally? Can I be disciplined enough to not blow up if I'm triggered by something that I don't agree with? And so having that control is very important. Understanding what it is you want intellectually, meaning, you know, what do I like to read? Most of this generation gets so dumbed down with all of the social media stuff out there, from magazines to the internet, which they...
Television.
Television, but a lot of it is, it's productive, but it's not profitable, meaning that they can do it, but is it really contributing to where they want to go? And so if it would be like if you and I wanted to go to Miami, Florida, or Orlando and visit the other studio and the other campus, we would have to ask ourselves, okay, our ultimate destination is Orlando, but how do we want to get there? Do we want to drive? Do we want to take a plane? Do we want to fly the plane? Do we want to ride a scooter? Do we want to walk? Do we want to walk? Do we want to run? You know, do we want to go around on a boat around the outside of the coast? You know, how do we want to get there?
Exactly.
And that's the question that when we talk about discipline, it's not spanking them. It's not being in their face and saying, if you don't do this, you know, you're not going to be somebody. It's how can I help you stay on track?
Stay focused.
Stay
It
focused.
sounds like you're talking about being focused.
Exactly.
Because to have discipline, you have to be focused.
Exactly.
And you have to help. It sounds like you're saying that a lot of the youth don't even know how to even look beyond this certain point, and that's why they'll never attain if we don't help them see what they want to do and what kind of disciplines, what kind of actions are they going to have to take to get to that destination.
Absolutely. Let me give you an example that I experience in education all the time. You and I probably experience that same thing. All the way from first grade through 12th grade in high school, we are taught, this is your curriculum, you do this. You do math, science, social studies, language arts, then you move on, maybe have some electives, and you move progressively through the years, right? But we just go through the motions. We literally go through classes, show up, do our homework, turn it in. At the end of the day, we have no real big picture as far as where we want to go. So with that, we have to say to them, what's the big picture and what's the value in me getting my education? What's the value in me learning math? What's the value in me learning science, social studies, and language arts? When you look at this, like for instance, the scientific method, being able to create a hypothesis, you know, do some activity to see if what I thought was right is actually right. You know, all those things have value, but throughout the whole education system, we're taught if you don't get A's and B's, you're not good enough. And all of that report card does is it shows you where you were a few weeks ago. It doesn't say the potential that you have in the future. And so a lot of students base their worth, their self-worth, their ability to achieve goals, their ability to be the great person that they were created to be. They say, no, you know, I can't do that because, you know, I'm not good at math, or I'm not good at science, or, you know, I don't really want to go to college because, you know, I don't really have what it takes.
I can't stand school, it's boring.
And for some of them, that's right. Partially because if you look at the parental position, meaning the teacher, the parent, the counselors, all those people have had the same experiences growing up, but they've chosen to get the job of helping these youth. The question is, are they being effective?
Wow, that is so good.
So
Daniel.
now they're in a position where they can really say, you know, if I can look at all of my life, the 31 years that I've had so far, and look at my successes and look at my failures, and try to extract the value and the lessons out of those, and ultimately ask myself, where do I want to go? The reason why I'm talking with you here today is because I know that I have a higher calling to go and influence and inspire this next generation. And that's part of my contribution.
Wow. That has been so good. Daniel, thank you so much. I can't believe